Welcome to the Mommillennials podcast, where we don't claim to have all the answers, just a willingness to figure it out. We're your hosts, Jocelyn
and Lauren, proud girl moms and best friends sharing our take on mommyhood. Whether you're changing a dirty diaper, stuck in traffic, or just have a minute to yourself,
we're so happy you're here.
Hey.
Hi.
So, I'm just going to jump right into it.
Oh, okay. Coming in with the heat.
I didn't know what you were going to say. Heat. So, as you know, it's been a couple weeks since I've weaned.
Woohoo.
And I have felt the brain fog start to clear up a little bit.
Have you?
A little bit.
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But as you know, I've been extremely emotional.
Yeah.
I've been very up and down with my emotions, which I just blamed the hormones on.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt strongly that if I were to get some type of blood work done to check my hormone levels, that they would just be
all over the place.
All over the place. I talked to my nutritionist. She ordered a panel for me to get.
I didn't know this.
Yes. I got my blood drawn. This is, again, a hormone panel.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was in range. Except for one. And so I started asking myself, do I have ADHD?
Oh, we've answered that question a long time ago.
The answer is no.
Is it?
I just have an invisible load in my head.
Okay.
I'm being dead serious.
I know you are. And now I'm like, is that like I have self-diagnosed ADHD too? It's news to me that you're no longer self-diagnosed. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah. I've really been thinking about this a lot lately.
Okay.
I think that moms always carry an invisible mental load, and other people gaslight us
and tell us we have ADHD.
Correct. Which in turn makes us believe that we have some type of ADHD that has us starting one task and not finishing it, then doing another thing. No, girl. We have an invisible mental load that we're constantly carrying. So we can't really focus on too many things because our brains are just overloaded.
I see the thought process. I'm going to stick with my self-diagnosis for now.
You really think you have ADHD?
Yeah, but like just also because of the way I was growing up. Like, you know, I think there's more to it. Like my brain has always kind of functioned this way. Being a mom just made it worse.
Okay, well, I'm not in that boat.
Okay, well then, yeah, maybe you don't have ADHD. This isn't where I thought this was going. Like, you know, we talk about, honestly, I don't know how I feel because us having ADHD is something we bond over. And now you're taking this away from me. And like,
I think we bonded over that ever since I got pregnant. Before that, I didn't struggle with it.
Okay.
We didn't connect on ADHD before then.
Well, we weren't self-diagnosed before then. Like before all of that, I hadn't diagnosed myself either. It's the age of the internet that has taught me these things. You know? Like now I scroll and it's like, do you do all of these things? You have ADHD? And I'm like, well, sure as hell I do. And I have my whole life.
My whole life. Jocelyn, are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm not jumping off the ADHD
fine.
bandwagon.
Don't jump off. But the invisible mental load.
Oh, for sure.
Makes your self-diagnosed ADHD worse.
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad we can still connect on this somehow.
I mean, the invisible load is, the mental load is asinine.
as I was going through my Sunday, doing just normal things around the house, my brain would not stop going about all the things I need to do. And it's, I don't know. I feel like if I start to describe it, people will be like, you do have ADHD.
Listen, I'm not.
But it doesn't, no, I'm sticking to what I'm sticking to what I'm saying, which is, it's just constant. It's just this constant wheel of things I need to do. And then I'll see something and it'll be a reminder that I haven't done that thing. And then I stop to do the thing. And then I don't know. I just feel like moms are always doing that. Constantly having that mental conversation and mental checklist and forward thinking, present thinking. You're still thinking about yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of odds and ends in my brain just right now. I still need to call him to make Aurora's 2-year-old appointment because at her 18-month appointment, they weren't booking that far in advance. So they told me to call in March. March was crazy. And I'm like, it's April. I really need to call to do that. Then I realized that she has a lot of summer clothes, but not that much spring clothes. And today I took her out in a really cute outfit, but she probably needed to be a little bit more warm. So I'm like, okay, I need to buy some sweaters or different things, just like some more transitional outfits. But right now she's outgrowing 18 to 24 months. But then today I put her in a 24-month skirt and it literally went down to her ankles. Like she couldn't walk in it, and it was a really cute skirt. So then what size should I buy her? And she won't let me try things on. And then gosh, none of her shoes fit her. I don't know if I should just wait or if I should bite the bullet and buy another $24, I mean 48, whatever, $45 pair of shoes. Like that is just off the tippy top of my head that I'm thinking about all the time. And now my brain is just going, right? I'm like, okay, she's doing this after bedtime. She's asleep, but she's been waking up all of these nights. I really made sure she ate more protein today. I wonder if that'll help her sleep longer. And then my acupuncturist said she's waking up during the liver time because she wakes up during 1 to 2 a.m. And that means like there's an imbalance in her liver, but I don't really know what to do to help that imbalance in her liver. And like, it keeps going. And we want to go on, and that's just for Aurora.
Right.
And then, you know, when are they going to come and tend to my new hydrangea bushes? Because I made Steve plant me these hydrangea bushes, but we don't know how to take care of them. And I didn't pay for them to do the grass, whatever, this year because I really wanted to focus on the hydrangea. So now I need to remember next year I need to pay someone to come and fix the sprinklers so that the sprinklers work so that we have a nice lawn. Because when we moved in, we had a really nice lawn and everybody in the neighborhood has a nice lawn, but we let it go to the wayside. And like that's just the first two things.
Do I belong in this neighborhood?
Yeah, like and then that leads me to remember that like we had a really good day in the front yard yesterday, and it made me really emotional because I was like, wow, this is why we bought a house in the suburbs. And like, oh my goodness, this is like, I would have dreamed of this life when I was a little girl. And we're sitting out in the front and the dog's outside and Aurora's playing with the dog and Steve is playing with them and I'm watching them and I feel like it's out of a movie. And then I look at Steve's outfit and I turn to him and I'm like, gosh, I would be crying if you were just like, if your outfit was a little more aesthetically pleasing, because Aurora and I are matching and the dog matches us because he's white and black and brown, and you're out here in a tank top and shorts and and chanclas. For those of y'all that know Steph, my man, toes out. Love you, puppy.
Disgusting. No.
But all of that is what's running through my brain.
Steve loves to have his feet out. He should do something.
Even in the
about
winter,
that.
it's so embarrassing.
We should get him on a website. All you gotta do is start taking. You know what? We're not gonna go down.
Yeah,
that path.
no.
But that was a lot, girl.
That was a lot in just a couple of minutes. And that's just right now. Like I can do this whole episode of just things that are living in my brain.
Yeah.
that no one else has to worry about.
No.
Right. And that was just a little bit of Aurora, a little bit of my house.
But that's why we are the glue.
Katie and I got my mom this thing, like, like the little phrase things one year for Mother's Day. And it said, like, Mom, you're the glue that keeps us all together.
She didn't get it.
No, she loved it.
Oh,
She
okay.
keeps it at work. I mean, like, it is one of her most prized possessions. But you're right. Like, moms are the glue.
Absolutely. Literally nothing would go according to, I would say according to plan, but nothing.
There would be no plan.
There would be no plan.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be pure chaos.
for sure.
Well, it makes me think of this Bluey book that Mila likes to read.
Tell me about it.
It's a story within a 5-minute storybook, and it's called Pool Day or something like that. And the family of four is all together, and the kids are like, "Meh, meh, meh, let's go to the pool." And the dad's like, "Yeah, let's go to the pool," and just goes to the pool. And they're like, "Yeah, because mom does boring stuff. Like, mom's boring."
Mm-hmm.
So the kids go to the pool, and the ground is really hot, and they're like, "Dad, where are my flip-flops? Oh, I forgot the flip-flops. Oh, okay." Then the little one is like, "I don't have my floaties. I can't get in the pool. Oh, I forgot the floaties." Then the older one's like, "Dad, my goggles, my goggles. I don't have my goggles. Forgot the goggles." So then what was the other one? Then the pool cleaner is coming, and they have to get out of the pool, but there's no shade. The sunscreen. Ah.
Mm-hmm.
They're not enjoying it. "Dad, this is boring. Dad, 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 dad." And then who shows up?
Mom,
Of course,
with everything.
with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's not so bad after all. Which I kind of got annoyed at the story.
Yeah.
The way it started.
Yeah.
Mom is so boring. No, no, no. We're not boring. We allow you to have fun because of all these things that we're
No,
telling you to
we're
do.
not boring, but that's something that weighs really heavy on me. I don't feel like I laugh enough with Aurora.
You talked about this recently.
Yeah, because there's so much in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's playing and we're having fun, I guess. And
Are you always like, "No, be careful"?
no, I try and let her explore, but even when we're playing, what's going on in my brain is, how can I make her more independent?
Mm-hmm.
So if she kind of veers off to herself, it's just me like, okay, be independent, play cool, play cool, play cool, play cool. And then, when she comes to me, it's okay, let me make sure I'm talking to her. Let me make sure I'm making her repeat the colors and the numbers. And is she learning? And did she say that the right way? Or how can I sneak in another word in here? Maybe now I teach her how to say this in English or whatever it is. There's always something that I'm thinking about. Or she's walking on her tippy toes. Is that just toddler behavior? Or is it something that I should pay attention to?
So you're going through all that and you're not smiling.
I'm not I'm smiling, right? I'm like, sí, buen trabajo. But there's no like laughter and joy. I've been trying to make more of a habit. Like, when I pretend to gag, she finds it hilarious. Yeah. I'll be like, ugh. And she's like, like dying laughing tears.
I mean, it's probably funny because you don't do funny stuff like that.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I've been trying to do that more, or like, get like tickly time in or Eskimo kisses that will make her laugh.
Does it feel unnatural when you're doing them?
That's
Like,
a good question.
Do you feel like you're doing them because you want to feel that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it feels unnatural, but I don't think it feels natural either. It's just seeing her happy makes me so happy. And I think that's the only feeling that I feel.
Then that's
it's like
natural.
she's laughing. And so I'm like, this is fucking amazing
Yeah.
that she's laughing. And then I
natural.
make her laugh,
That's natural.
Because everything else I feel like is really heavy. It's like, let me get you ready for bed. Let me get you ready for the day. Let me make sure, your caretaking team is ready and prepared.
It's just so funny because This is part of the mental load.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's so
Even
heavy.
making sure she laughs and that
Yes.
we're having a good time is a part of the mental load. Absolutely.
It's tough because I don't know that dads feel the same way. I think that dads carry their own mental loads, whether it be making sure that the family feels safe, provided for, and that comes up in different ways. But in terms of the kids,
Yeah, so like I'm like, you know what? Let me get comfy cuz I have a hot take on that. Um Here we go, guys.
uh-oh, she got real
I
comfortable.
I don't disagree that dads have a mental load of their own. I just think theirs didn't change. Like this baby was born. I think that Steve was always worried about, had the mental load of figuring out how we're going to pay our bills, knowing my spending habits, how he's going to navigate that, providing, making sure. And I think he does an amazing job at that, at making sure that I have what I want when I want it. And now with Aurora too, but what Aurora wants is just what I want. She doesn't, I mean, she has opinions, but most of the time I'm the one who's formulated them. You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm the one who's taught her all of the things that, the different chips she likes or whatever, and her water bottles and her little snack purse. And so, yeah, I think he has a mental load, but I think it's at least not significantly bigger
Or different.
or
like you
different.
said.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. I don't know that I disagree either with that. I've seen a little bit of a shift with having a second kid.
You've said that, yeah.
Because I can do it on my own, but it's really hard to do all of it all the time on my own. I'm only in those situations when Yasin has work trips going on and he's not here or whatever. But when we're doing like family things, he's pretty good about now being like, did we get the stroller? Did we get the thing? Did we get the snacks? But it's not every single time. I will say that going back to one of our last episodes, getting that time away is not only good for mom, but it's really good for dad to remember that we are the glue.
Oh, like leaving dad
with the kids. Because every time I go somewhere and come back, Yasin is like, I don't know how you do it. I am so grateful for everything that you do. And please don't ever leave again.
Yeah. Well, I don't trust Steve by himself with Aurora at night.
You need to.
No, girl, he does not hear her. When she wakes up at night, I will feel comfortable when she can leave her room and come and wake him up. And then I'm done. We're out. We're going somewhere.
We're almost
Bye,
there.
Pappy. Let it be a brand trip or something. But yeah, I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten there yet. For a little while, Steve was doing this thing where if I would forget something, if we would forget something, he would be like,
you forgot?
Yeah, he would be like, you really should have brought a jacket for her or whatever. And I would go, oh my gosh, am I the only one with hands? Am I the only one with a brain?
You're so funny. My response is usually, we should have brought the umbrella.
I mean, when I'm in a good mood, I'm like, Bobby, this is exactly what I talk about, the invisible load. When you say things like that, we both have a responsibility to care for her, blah, blah, blah. But y'all know I'm spicy. So, and Steve is spicy too.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not an angel. Okay. I'd be getting a little snappy.
So a lot of
too.
times I'm like, I'm sorry, am I the only one with hands and a brain? Am I the only one with the responsibility to care for this baby? Because last I checked, I was not.
I do be saying some passive aggressive ass stuff too.
Yeah. But, when I'm in a good mood, I'm like, we need to blah, 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 blah. And I do need to do better because sometimes Steve will be like, "Did we pack the yada yada yada?" And
It was just a question, and you're like,
well, and I'm just like, "Duh."
that was unnecessary.
Like, of
But you know
course.
what?
Of course
I'm
it's
not even
packed.
going to shame you
Like,
for
why
it.
are you like duh. You needed to ask me that. Sometimes we'll be driving and he's like, "You think you pack diapers?" Oh, yeah. Pack diapers. Like, come on, my guy. And that's an extreme example, right? But I'll be like, or I was traveling with Aurora and, the sound machine doesn't need the bass.
Uh-huh.
And my bass never worked anyway. So it's just decorative.
Oh,
And I am like, and even if it doesn't work, they make you buy another one. They don't give you another one for free.
that's messed up.
Yeah, it's messed up. Do better.
Hatch.
Thank you. Do better, Hatch. And so I packed the sound machine in the bag. I gotta go. It's hectic. And he's like, you forgot the bass. He's like, babe, the bass. And I'm like, it's fine. I don't need it. And he's like, well, how are you gonna charge it? Girl, I was so pissed. I just didn't have the energy. Like, she's almost 2 years old. And you still don't know that the base is decorative because it didn't work when we first got it. And so I was like, you let me do what I need to do. If I tell you I don't need it, I don't need it. And he was like, okay, I'm going to leave you alone.
And then this is why
Yeah, absolutely.
they don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's because we don't know how to act either.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but it's fine. We do expect them to figure it out as well. It's not just the parental stuff. There's, like you said, there's our own stuff going on. We're not even going to get into our personal lists because then we're really going to be here all night. But it's the events, the social things, the birthdays, the birthday gifts. Did you get the gifts? The holiday cards. Did you schedule the photographer for the holiday card photos?
What is everybody going to wear?
Etc. And the list goes on. This actually makes me think about one of the things that helped Yassine and I was this book called Fair Play. Have you heard of it? I told you about it.
You've told me about it.
Yes. Do you remember me telling you about it, I should say?
I'm laughing because I got the cards. You were like, you should get the cards at a minimum, blah, 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 blah.
And you never opened the box.
I can picture it. I know exactly where it is.
This is why you're still struggling.
You know what? You're probably right. That and my
I'm just
steak ass
messing with you.
attitude.
Well, I do think that there's a little bit of a difference between my response to some of it than you. And I'm not going to say that it's
Right, wrong, better, whatever.
But I think that one of the tools that I used and I leaned on heavily was this fair play thing, because at the time I just needed him to understand that it's more than what is on the surface. There's so much more going on in here. And just because I vocalized 5 things, it's actually maybe 50. And I'm really just doing a lot of them invisibly to you. So the way Fair Play works is that it's a book. The book is very good. Just listen to the audiobook if you're not going to use the cards. Okay. But you can also buy this deck of cards. And the deck of cards has all of the typical tasks that a family or a household has to do throughout the year. More so chores and tasks like what
walk
I just
the
said.
dog,
Walk
do
the
the
dog,
dishes,
schedule the dog appointments, schedule the doctor's appointments for the kids, schedule personal doctor appointments. I mean, it gets very granular. Home keeping things, the grocery lists, the list of meals, the meal planning, the call your mom. Like, I mean, just so many different things. Volunteering, going to the playground, one-on-one time with kid. I mean, it's things that I didn't even realize they're in that deck. And the concept is you sit down with the deck and you go through the deck and you place it in front of the person that is currently handling that thing. Mm-hmm. And by the end of the deck, you're supposed to see, just to make it visible, which deck is higher or lower, to see that it could be that things are unbalanced. In a perfect world, they would be more balanced. However, there's also the thought of kind of 80-20. I don't know what it's truly called, but it's kind of like one day you might be able to give your 20%, but I can give you my 80%, and we can collectively make 100. You don't always have to be 50, and I don't always have to be 50. It can be one or the other. And so I just laugh because when we first did the draw of the cards, we were arguing about so many of the cards. I do that one. No, I do that one. No, I do that one. And we were literally arguing about the cards. And I'm like, this is not a game, right? And Yassine he's such a competitive person. Yeah. Because he just wanted, I think he was like missing the point. Yeah. I think he was like, he wanted to have more. And I'm like, you can't have the ones that you don't do. Like, he's like, well, I did that one time. And I'm like, yeah, but most of the time I'm doing it. Yeah. And so by the end of it all, if you're able to get through the deck, by the way, because that's another thing that it says, that sometimes it ends up in arguments. And if you need to take a break, just put it down, walk away, start over another day. And if nothing else, you start to have the conversation around it, around what the invisible mental load looks like for you. And ultimately, we had to do it a couple different times. So we got to the point where instead of hashing out who's currently doing things, it then became the exercise of, I can take that off your plate. Or someone saying, I really hate doing this task. I would really love for you to be the one to do it. For example, taking the trash out. It became like an alternating thing at one point, maybe. And then it just became I'll just do it. Right. And I can't give you another example right now, but I took one thing off of his plate where he's just like, I really hate doing that thing. The dishes or something like that. And I was like, okay, like the dishes are my thing. Why are you laughing?
Because one of the reasons we haven't done this is because I'm scared it's going to be a lot more even than I portray it to be in my head. And girl, I'm not trying to take nothing off Steve's plate.
You should do the exercise with yourself first. See, just pretend Steve is there.
Yeah. Because I'm like, you say the trash. He does the trash. He does the recycling. He dishes, a lot of times we get help with, but I can't remember the last time I did them, so I can't say I'm the one who does them. He keeps track of the grocery list. He does all of the cooking. He just asks me what I want to eat, and it gets made. Honestly, I think part of that is what's made motherhood harder for me. Not that I think what he does is a bad thing, but a lot of the books you read to prepare yourself, they talk about how it's really hard for moms because they get this added load, but they're still cooking and cleaning. And I remember even talking to you being like, I'm reading these books, but this to me makes it seem like postpartum's going to be a breeze because I don't do any of those things before. And maybe that's why I feel it more deeply too. Before Aurora, I mean, I felt like pretty 50-50 in terms of the mental load, right? The landscapers, the cleaning lady, where we're going to live, what the schools look like all of that, yes, was mine, but I didn't do anything else. For me, it was just the brain gymnastics. And that's just kind of how I functioned anyway. So yeah, he pays the bills and takes out the trash and, does the dishes and feeds me and all of that stuff. So it felt really fair and balanced, and I was really happy with that. And now we have this baby, and there's just so much more added to me mentally and physically.
But I think what could help is trying to make that extra load that you're talking about more visible, because you're carrying a lot of that in your head.
Yeah.
But are you actually talking it through with Steve? For example, the other day, okay, this is going to be kind of funny. One of us said Mila needs new utensils. I think Yassine said it because I said, go ahead, get some then. Like, go ahead. We have a lot that she can use, but okay, if you feel that way, go ahead and get some. And I said, what? Actually, because another thing that Fair Play talks about is delegating the task fully. So instead of me being like, okay, which ones do you think we should get? And us having a whole conversation about it, and me trying to control the situation that I often do, I'm like, he can buy utensils. He can buy cutlery for Mila. He knows what she likes. He knows what will fit in her hand. He's a grown boy. And you can take this task. He doesn't do it.
Yeah.
I give it like maybe a week, 2 weeks, and I don't see any. So then I just buy some. And then he sees them and he's like, oh, you bought the thing. And so I guess but I didn't hold it against him, but it is part of my mental load. I'm like, every time I didn't see the new, and not that I even thought she needed it,
but it's just dancing around in your head.
Exactly. But I've been trying to get better about vocalizing some of the things that are going through my head. Even if I already have landed on an answer, a lot of the times I have the conversation with him, I feel like we're now sharing the load a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
And then when I finally am close to pulling the trigger, we're like getting to a point where we both agree. I'm like, maybe I can just have him finish it off.
So I don't think I do that. What I have started to try to do is share my thought process. Even as just like, this is where we've landed. These were all the steps I went through so that you know that this is what's been living in my head. I didn't just, decide to buy her this table that I found. I researched a million different tables. I found what I liked. It was out of our budget per usual. And so then I went down a spree to see what like the closest dupe was that I could find. And was that in our budget? Could we splurge a little bit? Right. And going through all of those to say, this is how we've landed here. And I think the other thing I've been trying to do is when we have time to connect in the evening, walking him through what's in my mind. And I've noticed the difference because, for a while, one of my favorite shows is Abbott Elementary. And I would sit there and watch it and I would not laugh. Like, it was funny. It was funny in my brain. My brain was laughing, but physically I would not laugh. Like, it just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't in me. And then Steve started watching with me and he would start laughing. And then I would start laughing because he would like remind me like, yeah, that's funny. You should laugh. And so then I kind of thought to myself, like, why am I not laughing? And I was like, well, there's all of these things in my brain that I'm also starting to feel like resentment towards him for. And I've conflicting thoughts because I'm like, okay, he doesn't know those things are in my brain. I can't really resent him for not helping me when he doesn't know that that's living in my brain. But at the same time, I'm like, you're a grown man and, you can also anticipate some of these needs, which is another conversation that we have often. But I've seen that when I share with him what's living in my brain and, sometimes he offers solutions that I don't want. Whatever, that's a different story. That I feel lighter. And it, like, I was watching the show the other day by myself and I was laughing and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I feel lighter. Like, I'm laughing and I don't laugh that often anymore.
Yeah. Aw, that kind of made me a little sad.
Sorry. I think a lot of moms feel that way.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to laugh in motherhood a lot of times.
Yeah, it is. It is. I do feel a lot lighter when I'm trying to share my thought process as well, though. And then it becomes kind of a joint thing. Now making you invested in this. And I'm bringing it up again. And sometimes you see it's just like, why are we talking about this again? And then he realizes, okay, we never landed
Yeah.
anywhere with it. We don't do the fair play cards anymore because we've kind of established our flow.
Yeah.
And I think that it helped us a lot with setting the foundation of how to be better about all that stuff. The other day, it was pretty funny because, well, we're a lot better about calling each other out on stuff in like a funny way and not really an attacking way. And the other day, so he has a tendency of finishing his meal. Doesn't matter what meal it is. He'll leave the plates and the whatever, the containers on the table. And I look at the table every time and I'm like, he's just left it there. Like, no dishwasher, not even the sink sometimes. And
That's me.
I hate you so much. I always say something about it, passive aggressively. And then the other day he was like, are you done with the butter? Just wondering because it's been sitting out. And so his thing is, you always leave something out. The difference is that I don't call you out on it. I just put the butter away. He's not 100% wrong. But it did open the door to having a better conversation around, like, hey, it actually really annoys me that you leave the plates out. Does it actually really annoy you that I leave these things out?
That's such a good point.
And he's like, not really, but you always call me out on the plates. Like, you leave your shit out all the time too. So what's the difference? And I'm like, well, I have my flow. And he's like, and I have my flow. And I'm like, but your flow never brings you back to putting them away. And he's like, and your flow doesn't bring you back to putting them away either, which is half true. And so all that to say, we had a funny, lighthearted conversation that led to us shaking on the fact that we're just going to be better, that we're going to try harder. Like, hey, if you try harder at putting all this stuff away after you get up from the table, then I will try harder. I remember to put away all the stuff that I took out. And we shook on it and it was fine. And there was a time where we couldn't do that because of the just overflow of things in my head that wouldn't allow for me to even think clearly about having that type of conversation. So yeah, I don't know if you can take something away from that, but I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, okay, I'll try because
You're the one leaving the things on the
I'm the
table.
one leaving the things out. And if Steve ever calls me out, my response to him is, yes, Papi. And your responsibility is to do everything in your power to make me happy. So if putting the dishes back doesn't make me happy, it's your job to put it away so that then I'm happy.
So my go-to line is, I made your children and I gave birth to them. You're just like, you can't use that every time. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I
can. I can. When Steve says that, I'm like, might I add that I was physically cut open while I was awake and had that child yanked out of me and then sewn back up and had to heal while I nursed her?
No, for real though. I mean, in all seriousness, the invisible mental load on moms is insane.
It really is.
So if you're struggling with this, make sure you talk to someone about it. Talk to a friend at least.
Yeah.
You know, if you feel like you can talk to a professional about it, that's really helpful sometimes. And if you have it in you to even look at the Fair Play book, just read it, check it out, see if any of those tools are helpful for you.
Or the cards.
Or the cards.
I honestly think I'm just going to do them by myself.
You should. I mean, why not?
And then, like, you know, maybe it is more fair. And if it's not, I'm going to make him do it immediately after.
Does Steve still listen to all of our episodes?
Yeah.
He's going to be.
I'll be like, I don't think you need to listen to this one.
You can skip this.
It's okay. It's okay. You're so busy. I know there's so much trash. I'm leaving such a mess everywhere. You could focus on that this week. Don't worry about the Mommillennials episode.
So what's our affirmation for this one?
Before we wrap up, on a lighter note, if y'all want to come and complain about your husband
or talk through your invisible mental load,
don't forget we have our meetup this weekend.
I can't believe the day has come.
We're so excited. Tickets are almost gone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to come and you haven't already gotten your ticket, jump on it.
Yeah.
Because we're going to sell out.
We are going to sell out. We can't wait to see you there.
So this Sunday, the 3rd, 10 to 1 at El Tamarindo, it'll be a pupusa workshop, lunch, cocktail or mocktail. You get a Mommillennials gift bag. Your pupusas get cooked so that you can take them back home.
It's going to be perfect.
It's going to be a good time.
Can't wait.
Yay!
Affirmation?
Affirmation.
I feel like it's my turn today.
Oh, for sure. You've had all the wisdom tonight.
I really want you to take this one.
Okay.
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 Good enough is perfect.
Ugh. Say it again.
That was rude. Good enough is perfect. Do you understand it?
Yeah.
Let go of the perfectionism.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am woman-splaining. Is that a thing?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Women are perfect.
Perfectionism is the thief of joy.
Okay, yeah. I like that.
Good enough is perfect.
Good enough is perfect.
It doesn't need to be perfect. All the things that are in your head.
Literally, my body's itching.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Good enough is perfect.
Good enough is
Just
perfect.
leave it at that.
Just let it sit there in your heart.
Yep.
Believe it. Internalize it. Y'all see her? She's tweaking.
Good enough is perfect. Let me know how that works out for y'all this week.
Have a great week.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of the Mommillennials community. If you liked this episode, hit that follow button, connect on our socials, and don't forget to share with other mommies.
Want more? Head to our website, read our blog, grab some merch, and check out our other episodes. Until next time, bye.